Now, millions of Brits will get a boost to their bank accounts thanks to tax cuts and benefit hikes announced in Chancellor Jeremy Hunt's autumn statement yesterday.
Well, he said that a 2% cut to national insurance, which will be brought in the new year, and a hike to benefits due to be introduced in April can all be achieved because Britain has turned a corner in the cost of living crisis. So what would Labour have done differently? Well, we can find out now with James Murray, the Shadow Financial Secretary to the Treasury. Good morning, Mr Murray. Now, do you welcome the Chancellor's tax cut announcement? Is it welcome to you?
Well, look, some of what the Chancellor's done are things we've been calling for already. You know, we've been saying that taxes on working people should be lower, and we've been saying that business full expensing should be extended. But the problem is that nothing the Chancellor said yesterday comes remotely close to compensating for 13 years of economic failure and the damage done to the UK economy and household finances. And I think all of that was laid out very clearly yesterday as well, with the growth forecast being cut for the next 3 years, with inflation being revised upward for every year of the forecast period, and with confirmation that the tax burden is still going to be the highest since the Second World War.
So, James, we spoke last week, and I understand this, or maybe earlier in the week, you know, we didn't have any meat on the bone and you weren't able to be specific. You've just pointed out the OBR has downgraded the UK's growth forecast. So on the basis of it, it's given the families 450 quid. We've already heard this morning, energy price cap up nearly another 100 quid, so people are already saying that. And there are holes that you can pick. One thing that I would say about Labour over the last few months is they have appeared to be talking from a more sensible fiscal position. We aren't going to promise what we can't deliver. The past was very different, but we're at the position now where Rachel Reeves and you. How would you then deal, if you win the election, with an OBR downgraded, economy in terms of that? How are you going to deal with this massive tax problem? It's easy, I guess, to say it's there. How are you going to get rid of it, James? How are you going to help people? Why should people trust Labour?
Well, look, you're right to point out that fiscal responsibility, economic responsibility is the foundation of everything we've been setting out as a Labour Party, everything Rachel Reeves has been setting out as Shadow Chancellor. And on that foundation of economic responsibility, we would grow the economy. Now, growing the economy is what is crucial to making people across Britain better off and to getting sustainable revenue for public services, because we know that economic growth over the last 13 years has been far lower than it should have been.
But
we've had low growth.
James?
Because of low growth, we've had high taxes.
How?
Yeah. Well, firstly, we want to work with businesses to invest alongside them to get them growing in the industries of the future. Other countries are doing this. Countries like the US are doing this, supporting businesses to make sure that the private sector invests and grows the economy by creating new jobs and new businesses across their countries. We should be doing the same here. We should be reforming the planning system. But one of the big things that so many businesses say is that getting things through planning, getting the infrastructure in place is a real challenge to investing in the UK and growing the economy. We would reform that. And we would do all of this on that bedrock of economic and fiscal responsibility. Because actually what businesses tell me more than anything else, doesn't matter what sector you're talking to, what they want is a bit of stability, an industrial strategy and a plan for growth. And that's what we would deliver.
A bit of excitement yesterday, James, when it was announced that some of these changes will be coming in on the 6th of January before what could potentially be rumours of a May general election. Obviously, nothing confirmed yet. But do you think you and your party would be ready for an election in May?
We're ready now for an election. Bring it on.
Oh, wow. James, final question. Yesterday, after much debate, I think he surprised quite a few people. Hunt increased the national minimum wage to £11.44. And whilst, again, this is another thing I just want your opinion on, people will go, that is great. We spoke to businesses yesterday that said, and I quote, that's all well and good, but we're going to have to find that now in extra wages, which will mean that we actually have to raise prices, which will mean that inflation will raise and will go round in full circle. So in terms of that national minimum wage, would you continue to increase it? And how would you make businesses understand that you want to support them? Would you give them money? Would you freeze more business tax? What would Labour do?
Well, look, the national minimum wage is set by recommendations that the Low Pay Commission come up with. What businesses tell me they want more than anything is stability and certainty and to know what's happening so they can make investment decisions. You know, what's really damaging for businesses is not knowing what's going to happen. particularly when the government says one thing and then changes their mind. That's so damaging to business confidence and business investment. We've set out how, if we got into government, early in the new government, we would publish a tax roadmap to set out for businesses exactly what we'd be doing over the course of that parliament, so they would have that confidence to look at that roadmap and make investment decisions and help us to get the economy growing.
James, thank you so much indeed. Now,